By the end of the day today, I'm gonna be broke as shit.
You know, when Justin said he wanted to play Ryle, I was on board for that. I thought that he kind of was what I envisioned when I wrote the book.
Something shocking is unfolding behind the scenes, and it's bigger than anyone imagined. Colleen Hoover has just made a quiet but powerful move, and now whispers are growing louder that Blake Lively is desperately trying to settle things before the truth explodes publicly. What really happened? Why did Colleen suddenly erase Blake from her life? And how deep does the drama actually go? Today, we're breaking down all the hidden details, the courtroom twists, and the behind-the-scenes power plays you haven't heard about yet. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see Blake Lively's situation in a completely different light. If you love deep dives into Hollywood's biggest controversies, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because what we're about to uncover will leave you questioning everything. Let's get into it. The shocking return of Colleen Hoover. For weeks, the silence was deafening. Colleen Hoover, the best-selling author behind It Ends With Us, disappeared from Instagram right when tensions were boiling over between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. At first, fans thought maybe it was just bad timing. Maybe Colleen needed a mental health break. But when she came back, it was impossible to ignore the signs. Every mention of Blake Lively? Gone. Photos with Justin Baldoni? Scrubbed clean. Even posts promoting the movie itself, posts fans had loved and celebrated, were deleted without a trace. It was like Colleen wanted to erase the entire chapter from her life. And the fact that she didn't explain a thing made it even louder. People started asking, was Colleen pressured into silence before? Was she finally taking a side now that lawyers and lawsuits were flying everywhere? And most importantly, what did she know that we didn't? Blake's desperate move? Meanwhile, rumors were swirling that Blake Lively was in full damage control mode. According to multiple insiders, Blake's team realized fast that this wasn't a typical Hollywood feud. This wasn't just about some creative disagreements over a book-to-movie adaptation. If the truth about what happened behind the scenes came out, the lies, the manipulation, the secret power plays, Blake's carefully crafted image as America's sweetheart could shatter overnight. And that's why, allegedly, Blake is now desperate for a private settlement, a way to make this whole thing go away quietly, before court filings, subpoenas, and depositions start pulling back the curtain. But here's the thing, desperation leaves fingerprints. Fans noticed how Blake's team started rushing out vague, misunderstanding statements to media outlets. How interviews promoting It Ends With Us suddenly got canceled or delayed. One source even said, they're throwing money at this behind the scenes like crazy, they'll do anything to keep it out of court. The deleted posts and hidden messages. And then, there was Colleen's Instagram purge. It wasn't just one or two posts, she deleted over 30 posts, and fans who were watching closely noticed exactly which ones were erased. Gone were the photos praising Blake. Gone were the gushing captions about how excited she was for the movie. Gone were the snapshots of Colleen standing proudly next to Justin Baldoni at fan events. In fact, Blake and Justin weren't even in her following list anymore. Colleen had unfollowed both of them. But that wasn't even the spookiest part. Fans noticed that Colleen added new posts, ones that felt darker, sadder, more cryptic. No names were mentioned, no direct callouts, but the message was clear. Something had happened that shattered her trust in both sides, and it didn't take long for people to start connecting the dots. The lawsuit that changed everything. Justin Baldoni's amended lawsuit added fuel to the fire. In it, he accuses Blake Lively of deliberately leaking damaging accusations to the press, while never intending to actually go through with a real lawsuit. The goal, according to Baldoni, was simple: ruin reputations, poison public opinion, and force a settlement without ever stepping into a courtroom where evidence could be challenged. And honestly, when you look at how fast Hollywood turned on Blake, it starts to make sense. Because if you're confident in your claims, you want discovery. You want your day in court. You don't run around behind the scenes trying to clean up a mess you supposedly didn't create. And Colleen's quiet, calculated Instagram purge seemed to be her way of saying, I see it, I lived it, and I'm not standing by it anymore. Hollywood turns on Blake. Once upon a time, Blake Lively could do no wrong in Hollywood. She was the it girl, glamorous, funny, relatable. Directors loved her, stylists loved her, fans adored her, but not anymore. In the wake of these new revelations, the Hollywood machine that once protected Blake has gone eerily silent. No statements of support, no big A-listers rushing to defend her character. Even her closest friends, the ones who used to flood her Instagram comments with hearts and fire emojis, have backed off. And that's the thing about Hollywood. When trouble comes, your real friends show up. If nobody's showing up, it means they're already betting on you losing. One source even said, Blake's inner circle is panicking. They're trying to spin it, but nobody's biting. Everyone knows there's more to this story. Colleen's disturbing video. And then Colleen Hoover posted that video, sitting alone, clutching a Diet Pepsi, nervously joking about being broke by the end of the day. It wasn't polished, it wasn't professional, it was raw, it was messy, and it was deeply unsettling. She talked about firing employees, about being unable to retire, about being in a financial hole by 5 p.m. And while some fans brushed it off as dark humor, others weren't so sure. The timing was too perfect. The tone was too strange. Many believe Colleen was dropping coded messages about being legally pressured, or worse, financially threatened because of the movie drama. If true, it would explain why she disappeared for weeks, and why she's now scrubbing her public history. The bigger picture, damage control mode. Right now, Blake's team is moving at breakneck speed behind the scenes. They're calling the leaks misunderstandings. They're insisting Blake did nothing wrong. They're trying to shift the narrative toward creative differences, as if this is all just one big, sad artistic disagreement. But the fans aren't buying it. Not after the lawsuits. Not after Colleen's cryptic moves. Not after Hollywood insiders started whispering that this scandal runs deeper than anyone's willing to admit publicly. And ironically, the more they try to control the damage, the more obvious it becomes that something big, something ugly, really did happen. Because if it was just a misunderstanding, why the mass deletions? Why the settlement talks? Why the mass exodus of famous friends? It doesn't add up. At this point, it's not even about if the truth will come out, it's when. Colleen Hoover may never sit down for a tell-all interview. She might never publicly bash Blake or Justin. She might continue speaking in code through cryptic social media moves, but her actions have already spoken volumes. And the fans? They're paying attention. As for Blake Lively, even if she does manage to lock down a private settlement, her image might never fully recover, because the court of public opinion doesn't forget. And when an entire fandom turns against you, when even Hollywood stops returning your calls, no amount of PR spin can fix it. The question now is simple. Will Colleen eventually expose everything? Or will Hollywood work overtime to bury the story deeper than ever? Either way, one thing's crystal clear: the cracks are showing. The desperation is real, and the truth is coming, whether Blake Lively is ready for it or not.